I'm joined now by Michelle Goldberg, opinion columnist for the New York Times. Michelle, good to have you here.
Thank you.
There's always been this gap between his aberrant behavior and the kind of like normal mechanics of campaign coverage, and they were clear from the beginning, but they feel wider than ever now.
Well, yeah, because I think that, in 2016, people like me and you were maybe saying this man poses a threat to American democracy. Now that's pretty well substantiated, and you kind of can't argue otherwise in good faith. And also, he's running with the specific promise to sort of finish the insurrection that he started, right? He's saying he's running for revenge. He has this choir of January 6 prisoners. I mean, he's kind of running on the platform of
finish the coup.
Yeah, exactly. And kind of, one man, one vote, one time. And so, but it's a really difficult challenge because you can't kind of not cover the likely Republican candidate for president and the fact that he is doing this, the fact that he is running this frontal challenge to our way of government and our way of life is a major news story.
It's the major news story.
And so I think that the important thing is to kind of cover it through that lens as opposed to, these wacky things that he keeps saying.
Yeah, I just think also just in a technical way, like not even like forget Donald Trump and like sort of who he is and even his politics, right? One of the subjects of the Dominion lawsuit was that they kept putting the pillow guy on TV, knowing full well the pillow guy was going to go on and defame Dominion. And at a certain point, you just can't do that responsibly. And it's like, well, Donald Trump's worse than the pillow guy.
Right.
You cannot, I wouldn't put someone on our program who I know was going to come on and, try to incite violence or defame the voting machine companies. He's clearly going to do that.
Right. But again, but I think the tricky thing is that the fact that he keeps doing that is news.
Yes, you can't write that out and ignore it.
I think that, and the media made such a mistake the way they covered him in 2016, when they just sort of covered his antics, as opposed to the stakes of the election, as opposed to, sort of his record on things like Trump University and the like, right? He was just this sideshow clown that drove a lot of ratings. And I think that a lot of people have learned a lesson, maybe they haven't learned the right lesson, but there has to be, because there has to be a fine line, because on the one hand, the fact that he poses such a grave threat to American democracy has to be sort of hammered home. And it's also true that when he's sort of out of the public eye, his ratings go up because there's this bizarre amnesia about what he's done. And yet, at the same time, I think what he can't be given is just unfettered access to airtime. Yeah,
and what you're pointing towards, and I think it's something that you and I think agree on, right? Which is what is the role of attention to him and popularity, right? Because there's this sense that all he wants is attention. If you give it to him, you give him power. But we showed the favorability rating is 26% for a reason. It's the shtick is not popular. The sort of the kind of lost cause, stabbed in the back, I'm going to finish the coup. I mean, even Republicans are please move on to something else. So, it's in some ways you have to show the American people that that's the guy is running on finishing the coup and ending American democracy for real this time, and you can't hide that from them.
Right, but I think you just also can't just kind of let him on your air to say whatever he will in the hopes that none of it is, actionable.
We just did the E. Jean Carroll story. You're going to have to ask him on a live, if you're doing something live with him, about E. Jean Carroll. And he's going to just defame her again. I mean, he's literally on trial right now for saying she's a liar and made it up. We'll see. Maybe he doesn't, maybe he gets off from that. Maybe the jury decides that he didn't defame her. But, it's a little bit of a weird situation when you're you've got a guy facing, an actual literal defamation suit for saying that woman's a liar, where you're going to be, hosting possibly more of said defamation.
Well, and there's also just a weird situation in that, there was a time when sort of everything he did and everything connected to him was given so much attention. Now there's almost, I feel a sense of both exhaustion, but also denial. So
yes,
that,
totally
obviously
agree.
You guys are covering the E. Jean Carroll trial, but, I've been in the courtroom. It's not overflowing the way, say, the Fox Dominion courtroom was, right? It's kind of this weird little thing.
Yeah, a side note.
When actually, this is one of the most important things that's going on in America. The likely Republican nominee is in a civil rape trial.
In a civil rape trial under, the laws of evidence, with sworn testimony in front of a jury in which claims are being, adjudicated according to federal law.
Right. And many of the claims, we've all seen all of these claims against Donald Trump being made, ever since 2015, 2016. This is the first time that they are being adjudicated in a federal court. It's a huge deal, but kind of nothing. I think our sense of proportion is so has been kind of destroyed by the events of the last however many years.
It's a really, really good point. Michelle Goldberg, always good to have you here.
Thank you.